In Part 1, we saw Jesus connect Psalm 118 to Daniel 2, teaching us that Scripture interprets Scripture by weaving prophetic witnesses together. But Jesus didn't invent this method. He was revealing how the Old Testament prophets always worked. Daniel chapter 9 verse 2 records, "I, Daniel, understood by the books," the number of the years specified by the word of the Lord through Jeremiah the prophet. Daniel is reading Jeremiah's prophecy about 70 years of exile. But then Daniel does something remarkable. He takes Jeremiah's 70 years and expands it into 70 weeks of years. 490 years, he's not contradicting Jeremiah. Hes, showing Jeremiah, pointed to a deeper pattern. One exile pointed to a greater restoration. Zechariah does the same thing. In chapter 1, he references the former prophets multiple times. Then he weaves their prophecies into his visions, showing how earlier words find fuller meaning in later revelation. Isaiah quotes Moses. Ezekiel echoes Isaiah. Malachi points back to Moses and Elijah. This is the prophetic method. Later prophets don't just repeat earlier ones. They interpret them. They show how the pattern continues. They reveal layers the original audience couldn't yet see. When Hosea says, "Out of Egypt I called my son," he's talking about the Exodus. But Matthew applies it to Jesus fleeing to Egypt as a child. Is Matthew making it up? No. He's doing what prophets always did, seeing the pattern. Israel was God's son called out of Egypt. Jesus is God's true son called out of Egypt. The pattern repeats because the same God is orchestrating the same redemptive story. Scripture interprets Scripture because prophets were taught to read earlier prophets this way. They weren't inventing connections. They were revealing the design that was always there. This is part 2 of 4. One divine author, multiple human voices, unified testimony across time. Next, we see the apostles continue this pattern Jesus modeled and the prophets established.